Hello everyone, it's Matt here, and this is another update to the Streamliner project. And as you can see, there is something new on my table, and this is actually a demonstration, if you like, of the current Lego Digital Designer prototype. So as you can see, we have the drive rails here, the leading bogie here, and then the trailing truck would be positioned just here. So you can sort of see the cab would be sort of here, and then this is all the sort of like the firebox would be here, and you got all the boiler and the smoke box. So the locomotive probably comes to about this sort of length, maybe a bit longer. Obviously I've still got to revise it. And as you can see, there are actually black panel. There's a variety of different colours. So you've got some browns and blues and grey, quite a lot of grey and some white, and they're just substitution parts until I can actually buy some more off Bricklink or find some in a brick wall, or possibly even scavenge some from some sets I've yet to break up. So what is in the mechanism? Well, you can probably see that there's the two motors here, and if I tilt this forward, I'll move it slightly so you get some more daylight, you can see, I don't know how well this is going to work, but you can just about see that there's gears inside there, and there's gears there as well. So what happens is these gears here drive a second set of gears as a first stage of reduction, and then they go provide another set of reduction. So if I take this out, take this one out for demonstration purposes, and I don't know how well you're going to be able to see this, and I'm just going to take this rather dirty 1x4 plate to indicate to you. So here we have one set of gears going down to a smaller gear at the bottom there, which I think, so this is a 20 tooth, I think that's a 10 tooth, and then as a second stage reduction it goes from, I think, a 14 tooth down to an 8 tooth, which are located underneath there. So I'll just get the other one out for you. So there you go. So it's actually a two-stage reduction from the motors to the drive wheels. And you may think to yourself, why is the two-stage reduction? And it's actually a very simple reason, and I've probably discussed this in a previous video, is that it's to try and get more speed out of the motors. Because this locomotive is supposed to be a streamlined locomotive, steam locomotive, so it's supposed to be designed for speed. Obviously some pulling power for the train itself, but mostly for speed, so you can pull the train at a reasonable speed, because it's supposed to be for express trains or trains carrying quite affluent people who can afford tickets for the train. So as you can see, the chassis is essentially complete as a demonstration, and you can probably, well, you're probably concerned about the amount of wiring, and this is all supposed to be tied to the way. But as you can see, that is the polar switch. So normally you have a choice of off on one way and then on the other. So it has to be like this, so that both motors turn the same way in terms of the mechanism. So obviously one is turning that way, so the other one has to turn that way. But one is actually the reverse of the other one. So if these were both just connected straight to power, nothing would actually happen, and you'd probably actually damage the motors, because they'd effectively shorting it out. So essentially what needs to happen is they both need to turn the same way, but they're facing the opposite way. So as one would turn clockwise, the other one needs to turn essentially anti-clockwise, whereas one's turning anti-clockwise, the other one needs to turn clockwise, so they both match. So that's why you have this reversing switch. And the reason why there's another cable on here is this is actually, if I untangle it correctly, this is actually a power functions to 9-volt adapter, so we can actually run this off a standard 9-volt train speed regulator. And in actual fact, in a couple of seconds, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to prop this up on some supports from my stock, and then you can actually see the mechanism in action. And I'm back now, and as you can probably tell, the locomotive chassis has been placed on a couple of monorail stanchions, and I have my speed regulator right here. So if I turn this to speed step 1, That is actually in reverse, but you can sort of see we're actually going at a fair speed already, and that is just on speed step 1. And I should point out here that actually the power adapter isn't the official Lego one, because the one I did have, the third pin on it broke, so I can't actually use it in the power socket. So this is actually this is one that runs at 12 volts rather than the standard 9. But obviously the motors are actually just standard ones, which actually can cope with 12 volts. So I'm going to increase this now to what is essentially speed stage 2. And you can sort of see that the mechanism is fairly stable, without much in the way of imbalance or anything like that. Obviously this has still got to go through some refinement and some more rebuilding. If I slow this back down to nothing, and obviously that's in reverse, so what's it like when it's going forward? So it's step 1, step 2. There we go. Trying to do stuff. And it also could be the imbalance is actually because I haven't actually put these sanctions down properly. So if I now speed this up to full, so this is on 3 and 4. And you can actually see the bogey here swiveling with the vibration. So if I turn this up to full, and then that's 6, and then that is top speed. And it's actually that powerful, it's actually shaking the locomotive apart because the power is that great. And there's also the fact that those bricks probably don't have as good strut back because they're quite old. So you can probably hear that sort of noise there, and that's actually because there's probably a slight misalignment with the gears, or they're rubbing up against each other. And that was because, as you can see, these 2x4 bricks are actually holding the mechanism together. So obviously now I've put the bricks back on, the noise has gone. So obviously this chassis is still in need of some refinement, but at least it's some progress towards actually getting on with the build. And in actual fact, to build this chassis, just this section of the chassis, took over an hour in terms of actually building it and then redoing some parts of it because of tightness in the mechanism, various other things. So there you have it. There is now a complete mechanism here, and I just need to go through some refinement, some adjustment, and then obviously building out the loco from this. So I'm Matt, and I'll see you in the next video.